Hello folks, back again for a new video. Today I'm going to talk to you about a concept that I've thought about in my new course, The Creative Guitarist, as you can see on my monitor back here. And that is 5 ways to overcome creative burnout, okay? So this should help you in when you're feeling like you don't have anything new to play, when you feel like you're just getting burnout from playing guitar altogether. Here's some strategies to help you overcome that and get in a more creative mindset. Strategy number 1, pamper your guitar. We play our guitars all the time, but usually the only time we get to pamper our guitar, so to speak, is when we're changing the strings. Well, let me just advise you, the next time you take that guitar off of its guitar stand, if you leave it out, or out of the case, which you probably should be doing often so you can play it, is just give it a little bit once over and give it a good polish down, change the strings on it if you feel like you need to, rub down the fretboard, even buy yourself some good fretboard stickers like I usually use from a company called Fretlook. You can see some of those. I should be able to leave a picture of that on the screen over here. And some that I have on my other guitar, my Breedlove Revival DR Deluxe. Those are the oak tree or oak leaf designs. You can pamper your guitar in many ways, but that is a great way to get you inspired to create again. When you see a beautiful guitar, when you pick it up and it feels nice, even if you have it set up by a professional, that's a good way. If you haven't set it up in a while, your strings are probably high on the action. You probably have a lot of issues with intonation and things like that. Get it professionally set up. Trust me, it will be worth it in the long run because it'll give your hands a break when you play it, and it will inspire you to play even better and maybe even more down the line. Another thing you can do on pampering your guitar is when you change the strings, try a different gauge. Experiment with something. Get yourself interested in playing guitar again so that you won't have any issues with burnout. You'll get actually curious. For me, myself, I'm going to be switching these strings, which are the Dean Markley Blue Steel strings I recently reviewed here on the channel. I'm going to be switching these to a lighter gauge strings to give me some more inspiration because there's a song I've been writing and the fingerings are kind of hard on a medium gauge string. So I'm going to switch those to light gauges so that I can play that song with a lot more ease. So the roadblock that I'm facing in that is the strings are making my hands cramp. So I need to replace the strings with lighter gauge strings to overcome that burnout and that procrastination as well of not completing the song. Strategy number 2, learn new things, new songs, new courses, new tricks, new tips. This lick that I played at the beginning, that's actually a lick that Tony Rice used. I believe it was on his masterclass course from Homespun, link in the description below. He used that to begin the song Monroe's Hornpipe. And so when he started that out, so I think he started Monroe's Hornpipe out with that lick. So I learned that a while back, and it's been a long time since I played it, so I actually had to practice it a little bit before I did that little intro. Fun fact for you, so that I could remember how it went again. And the good thing about learning new things, new licks and things like that, is not only does it get you out of that rut, that burnout, but it also gives you some new material to use in other spots. Maybe I don't want to use that whole lick at the tag of something. In this case, it wasn't a tag, it was the start of the song. But maybe I can use this little part here. Maybe I can use that somewhere else. Maybe just that one little spot here. And just find a way. It's a challenge. It's a creative challenge to find a way to get out of that lick and into it. Now, the only way I can think of getting out of it is it. But if I'm playing it in a song, in the context of a song, and I need to play a solo for it, maybe I can find a way to manage getting out of that lick a little bit easier and a little bit more in relation to the context of the song I'm playing. So, as well as courses, The Creative Guitarist, Bluegrass Guitar Essentials, all the other courses I have available on my site at www.ericbeatty.com/courses. Those will give you new inspiration and will teach you new things that you can implement in your own playing to get out of that creative rut. Tip number 3, change things up. Maybe you've been playing bluegrass for a while. Maybe you're playing your acoustic guitar for a while. Maybe your electric guitar or your ukulele or your bass guitar is sitting somewhere collecting dust and cobwebs. Nobody wants that. So maybe it's time to change things up. Put the acoustic guitar down, pick up your electric guitar, pick up a cajon, pick up some Congo drums, pick up a little recorder flute, whatever it is, change it up. Even try one of these MIDI keyboards like I have in the background over here and use it for playing different plugins with synths and different sound effects and things like that to help you become more inspired to create something when you do pick up your main guitar again. Another way to change things up is change the genre. Maybe you're playing a lot of country, maybe you're playing a lot of bluegrass, maybe it's time to look at some blues or some classic rock or some metal even. Maybe it's time to look at some of that. Look at some different YouTube creators that inspire you. Lately, I've been inspired by a guy named The Bun, and he's been going through how to make it in the music business when you're over 50 or when you turn 50. And I can relate to that because I'm in my 40s now. So I'm getting on up there in age. I've still got a lot left in me, I feel, but navigating this world of music business in the new wave of technology that's coming around with Spotify and all these other avenues that you can use, it becomes quite confusing and overwhelming as well. And you get burnout on that. So it helps to learn from other creators and from other teachers as well. So make sure to change things up and you'll be well on your way to creating new and exciting material for both you and your audiences. Tip number 4 to avoid creative burnout, go back to your roots. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, as you can see, I have acoustic guitar in my hand. Been playing a little bit of bluegrass here lately. So I've been going back to way back when I was a kid, back in 97, I believe it was, 1997, when Ricky Skaggs and Kentucky Thunder came out with their first album, Bluegrass Rules. My huge inspiration on that album was Brian Sutton. He was their guitarist for a couple albums, that one and Ancient Tones. And he continues to be an amazing bluegrass pioneer today. And for me, going back to those roots of the bluegrass has helped me become inspired and helped me also to get more inspired to go back to my electric guitar. Lately, I've been playing my electric guitar a lot more just because I've got a new Helix LT that I've had for almost a year now and enjoying those tones and just enjoying trying to get better on guitar in general. And that's helping me with my skills on the acoustic guitar as well. So another way to go back to your roots is listen to some old songs that you used to listen to when you was a kid. Recently, I've been listening to Diamond Rio again. I've got like 4 or 5 of their albums, and I've been listening to them over and over again. I love their songs, and some of the songs I began thinking, I wanted to learn a lot of those songs a long time ago when I first got those albums. Fun little fact here, I don't know if you remember a group called BGM or BNG, one or the other, I can't remember exactly. One of them's on Spotify for like cafe music, and the other one is a group that used to sell CDs in catalog format, and you would get like 12 CDs for the price of 2 or 3 or something like that. It was a subscription service, and I really enjoyed getting a lot of those albums, and some of those happen to be Diamond Rio albums. Really enjoy their songs, and so I've been listening to a lot more of them, getting more ideas and more inspiration to get out of my own little burnouts and my own little creative ruts. So go back to your roots, find out what you used to play years ago, look at some of those old tapes, old DVDs that you learned on way back when. For me, I've got a lot of bluegrass DVDs and tapes when I was taking my bluegrass guitar seriously back in around 2008, and been listening to some old albums that I made with a group called Wilder Mountain and learning a lot of those licks again. So going back to my roots and going back to your roots will help you for sure overcome your creative burnout. And our final tip here to help you overcome creative burnout, tip number 5, refill your creative well. Now, actually, all these tips up to this point have been accomplishing that. We've been talking about going back to our roots, learning new things. We've been talking about changing things up, things that will actually refill our creative well anyway. But it not only involves music. Maybe you want to go and just sit down and read a good book, or listen to a good podcast, read a blog post, do some things that aren't musically inclined, so to speak, or maybe the podcast has to do with music. Recently, I've been listening to a podcast called God and Gigs by a guy named Alan C. Paul. Love podcasts and love podcasts like this. It's some really good information on being a musician in the world that we're living in today. So all these things will help you fill your creative well and refill. A lot of times we give and we give and we give. We make videos. We feel like we're not getting back. Well, it's not up to the audience to give back. It's up to ourselves to go back to that well and refill our reserves. Sometimes we might have to take a break from YouTube. I've been taking a break here recently so that I can get a little bit more filled up in my creative well also. Put the guitar away, set it aside, maybe listen to some of your favorite music, but maybe get away from music altogether and do something a little bit different, still on the creative side. Maybe you want to go outside, take a sketchbook, and start sketching your landscape of your backyard. Or go to a park and sketch some of the ducks in the ponds or whatever that you feel inclined to do. Whatever it is, go read some comic books. They're visual and they're fun to read. So whatever it may be, refill that creative well so that you'll have something that inspires you to create and give again. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. That's been 5 tips to help you overcome creative burnout. If you like this video, please give it a like, a thumbs up, click that button, leave a comment below, give me some of your creative ideas, and make sure to watch this next video I'll have available for you so that you can learn how to overcome even more creative ruts in your own guitar journey. God bless. I'll see you on the next video, and keep creating.